Hey friends, it's Cully with Fables and Legends, and today's quest is to make braided bread with meat in it and an apple cobbler from the Elder Scrolls cookbook. So the recipes today are inspired from the cookbook, as well as, if you're following along with the Advent calendar, the braided meat bread recipe came with the Advent calendar. So today we're going to do some twists on it, and we're going to kind of go from there. So with the braided bread, when you read the recipe and all the ingredients, it gives it kind of a dessert flair. So what we're going to do is actually make it a savory bread instead of a sweet bread. And then the apple cobbler, we're just going to do some twists and turns along the way on that. So we're going to get this book to a safe place, change the screen, and then we are going to get cooking. So today we're going to start off with the braided bread with meat in it. So we're going to get the meat concoction going. Then we're going to switch over, let the meat cool down, and then start on the apple cobbler. And then we're going to finish off that braided bread with meat in it. So in our pan here, we're going to get it kind of going at first. We're just going to start off with a tablespoon of butter. Get the pan nice and greased that way. Maybe, just maybe I have everything I need today. Ready to go. So we're going to get the tablespoon of butter lightly going. And then in this, we're going to put 1 onion, 1 shallot, 4 cloves of garlic, and enough to be a bell pepper. So like in my past videos, you've seen where I picked different parts of the bell pepper. We're going to use just about a rough cut of a whole bell pepper with all the colors involved with that. So put some other things to the side here. We'll need those for later. So while that's going, we're going to get the onion and shallots going and the garlic going. Peeling onions take forever. Look at that shallot as well too. So I'm hoping you guys are finding these recipes and the quests we're going on not too difficult, but inspiring. Get most of that off. Same thing with this onion here. Start getting all that cut up and processed. So we're just going to simply chop/dice the onions and shallots. And we'll be doing the same thing with the bell pepper. Oh, that's a nice look today. And I'm just going to keep it on a low heat until all the veg is really ready to go. So today we're just basically making like a stuffed bread. Then I'll go get the peppers that we got in the fridge, and then we will go from there. So we have a variety of pepper strips ready to go. Just get a nice fun layer of color and all of that. So some of this chopped into some thinner strips here and there. And they're all chopped up, diced up. So you could use whatever color bell pepper you would like. I just tend to really always just like having different varieties of color in it, so it gives it a different look and feel. Makes it really festive looking. Eventually heat up and start getting all of this off a little bit. Isn't it pretty with all this color? It's sticky. And then I'm going to work up the garlic right now. I'm just going to get it pressed. I like pressing the garlic because it gives it a nice, it like melts in there. So you don't have like these chunks of garlic here that are just nicely melts into them and disappears into the food. Stuff. Basically, you're just going to saute this for around a couple minutes till the vegetables are nice and soft. The egg. I really get rid of the egg shell. Basically, you're just gonna saute that till the onions become like a translucent color. Okay, let me work out. Hopefully that thanks for letting me know. sure when that's up right. So with that almost being done, we're ready to put the ground meat in. And so today I'm using some ground beef. You could use ground pork, you could use ground chicken, or ground turkey, anything of that nature you want to use. So I'm using a pound of ground meat on this. Okay, open up a little bit. Got that put away. And then you'll get the ground meat broken up. You just want to get it all browned and broken up. Then I'm going to add some pepper and some salt. About a teaspoon of each. And once the ground beef or meat or whatever you're using is almost brown, we're going to add a block of cream cheese in it. So roughly 8 ounces of cream cheese in this. So we'll turn the heat off and get that all going. So yeah, you just want to break your ground beef up into little pieces. Turn to a low heat, and then get our block of cream cheese out. Now, for ease of stirring it up, I just break it off into little pieces quickly. Small paper towel. And you just want to get this nice creamy mixture of meat all underneath. Turn up that heat just a little bit. Basically, you just want to make sure the cream cheese is just all become one with the meat mixture. Boil that down just a little bit, and then so then we're going to let this kind of get just to a quick little boil, and then we're just going to let it rest until we're ready to put it into the bread. So we're just going to okay. It on, and we're just going to let that chill. I'm going to quickly wash my hands because then we're going to move into the apple cobbler now, and then take a water break, and then we'll be ready to start with the apple cobbler. So today with the apple cobbler, we had a choice of apples. We could use like Granny Smith, we could use Honeycrisp, anything that's a really good hearty baking apple. So we grabbed gala apples for today. So what we're going to do is get those sliced up, and then we're going to mix them with some spices and some really very tasty things. So we're going to need to get 6 apples. I usually use Granny Smith apples because they have the least amount of sugar in them. So yeah, we get a bowl, so we're going to throw those in it and then go from there. So if you had like a apple slicer, it would work really well right now. Or you can just hand cut them like that. About a 1/4 inch thick, the slices you want them to be. Let's move some things around so you guys can see what I'm doing. There we go. So I tend to like leaving the skin on. You can peel them, but once again, I really like to have some color in the food I eat, just to show artsiness and vibrancy. So in this case, because I'm leaving the skin on, I will use organic apples. So I'm not dealing with the pesticides or anything in that nature. I'd be here all day processing apples, it feels like. Much though. Grabbed the wrong piece on that one. So now that all the apples are sliced, we're going to add all the delicious spices and things that are going to make the base of the apple cobbler. So with these 6 apples, we're going to add a teaspoon of cinnamon, a half a teaspoon of cardamom, a 1/4 teaspoon of clove, 2 tablespoons of cornstarch, and the recipe normally calls for a 1/4 cup of sugar. Instead, we're going to replace that with xylitol. So if you've never used xylitol before, use it in lower moderations until you're used to it. If not, read the Harborough gummy Amazon reviews on why it could cause extreme intestinal issues if you add too much. So in here we have our sugar, cornstarch, cinnamon, clove, and cardamom. So we're just going to dump it in there and get that all mixed up. Get nice and tossed around and make sure we got all that deliciousness coating every apple. Looks like we got most of it all nice and coated. And then we're going to spread it out in a 13 by 9 baking dish. So, spread out. Make sure like the bottom is covered, and try to get it to be one fluid, piece of stuff. So that, now we're going to work on the cobbler topping. So that is going to have a 1/2 cup of flour, 1½ cups of flour, a cup of oats, a 1/2 cup of sugar. Once again, we're replacing it with xylitol. A tablespoon of baking powder, a teaspoon of salt, and then it's going to have 5 tablespoons of butter in it with some milk and some vanilla extract in it as well. Also, we're going to be adding spices into that as well. So we're going to also add another teaspoon of cinnamon, a 1/2 teaspoon of cardamom, and a 1/4 teaspoon of cinnamon. So here is our flour, oats, and sugar already all in that mixture. And then we're also going to add the baking powder with all those spices that we named out. Give that a quick little mix. You want to get this all in that mixture together. Then we're going to grab 5 tablespoons of butter. In the meantime, while that's all getting worked on, we're also going to preheat the oven now to 375. Now with our 5 tablespoons of butter, I've broken them down into little cubes. Because then we're going to have to work all this butter actually into all this. And you're going to want to make it like this crumbly dough. So you just want to keep doing this and getting it all crunched up until it's actually like the butter becomes one with the flour and all that mixture's there. Looks like we got most of that butter to become one with all of this. So, now there's that. So in this now, we're going to add a teaspoon of vanilla extract and then a cup of milk. We're going to get it to this dough mixture, and then we're going to drop it on top of the apples. So, a teaspoon of vanilla extract. And let me go get that cup of milk from the fridge. Now, if you want, you could use coconut milk. I'm just going to use organic whole milk. Use almond milk, rice milk. We're just going to get this all A little bit of everywhere. So now we're going to kind of make this really sloppy, thick kind of dough. Just make sure that it all gets like even mixture so you don't have these super gooey or super dry spots here. Okay. So I try to grab maybe like a golf ball size. Drop it on top of the apples. So basically while you're getting the mixture on, you want most of the apples absolutely covered in the mixture with like little points that are peeking out. Someday. Okay. I'm gonna go quickly get washed up because the oven's almost ready. So okay, so we're going to get this up in the oven and we're going to cook it for about 35 minutes. If it's not nice and golden and crispy, then we're going to cook it for a couple more minutes. So between 35 and 40 minutes. Quickly, kind of clear off the area, reset. Water break. So then we're going to start with the bread now for the braided bread with meat. So earlier today I started the dough, and the dough was 3.5 cups of flour, 2¼ teaspoon of yeast, or one of those packets of yeast, a tablespoon of salt, 3 tablespoons of sugar, 1 teaspoon of each garlic and onion powder, also with a teaspoon of parsley, 1 egg, a teaspoon of butter mixed into that, and then 1¼ cups of warm water. So I'm telling you all this before I show it to you because I've been in the kitchen making breads and doughs since I was a wee little kid. And there's about a 50% chance that this did not work. I don't know what it is with me and bread. Sometimes it can be absolutely spot on, and other times it won't rise or it falls apart. So this is the joy of the adventure. So when I reveal it, and if it didn't do what it needed to do, I'm going to show you my backup plan on how we're going to fix this. And if it works, great. And then I'll still let you know what the backup plan is, or the alternative way of actually making this. So here's our reveal. It did not. Did it fluff up? It doesn't look like it rose. That's kind of where I'm really sad. I don't know. Everyone's like, it's drafty, so I move it, and it's... I'm going to see if it kind of has what it needs to do, but it didn't fluff up like it was supposed to. But it is the right consistency. So, let's see what happens. Let me get a mat out, and then we're going to roll it flat to about 1/4 inch thick. We're going to trim it off once it's a rectangle and go from there. So, yeah, it's solid. So, I don't know if I want to, or it's going to just not be fluffy enough. Joys of questing and adventuring, trying to figure out what I really want to do about this. Let's roll it out and see what it looks like after I roll it. It's not liking me. It's really pretty dough. Not gonna lie, just doesn't seem like it wants to do what I want it to do. making decisions. This just seems too gelatinous, if that makes sense. That's not even the word I'm looking for. Gluten-y? So, I don't want to waste it either. So, decision time. I'm going to make just the bread. So, we'll make it braided bread. And then I'll show you the backup plan, and we'll actually put the meat in the backup plan. I think that sounds good. So with this, we're going to cut about a couple inches in and about 1.5 inches or so apart. So I always take these 2 fingers and then just cut as we're going as measurement. So start there. To match. And basically what you're going to do is pull it in. Top of itself, and then you're just going to keep crisscrossing. As you're going. And this time, I'll grab diagonal of it. And there. We actually have braided bread. I don't know if this is going to work out or not. We'll find out. It didn't seem like it floofed right. So this is going to go in the oven eventually at 350 for like 35 minutes, and it's going to get this nice golden brown texture to it, or color, and that. We're gonna wait on putting it in the oven, so put it in the oven with the other braided meat bread. Braided bread with meat in it. Where is my other tray? So for right now, I'm just gonna let this sit here because we still have to put an egg wash on it as well. So we'll see what we're gonna do with that. So now I'm going to show you the backup plan. It's not healthy, but it's convenient, it's easy, it's quick, it's simple. So we're going to put a big old piece of parchment paper down. Don't you love adventure? You do a mess. It's great. It's way too big of a piece of parchment paper, but this is where we live now. So I'm gonna go show you guys the backup plan. The backup plan is crescent rolls. So I buy crescent roll dough. I don't get the crescent rolls themselves, and then I just lay out the dough the way it needs to fit. So I take 2 cans of the crescent dough. I find it. Quickly removing labels. There we go. I'll just unroll the dough sheet. And you could do this with the pizza dough. I just like doing it with the crescent rolls because they're just really nice and fluffy and like flaky. And try to get it as square as possible. There's the Now you could just use the normal crescent rolls as well. It's not going to be as easy as to manipulate it as this right here. So keep it even as square as possible. So then you don't have to cut it and make it square. It'll just be pretty square. Connect the seam. There, now we have our dough. So now we're going to take our meat mixture here, keep it about 3 inches off the edge and about an inch and a half from the top and bottom. So basically we just want to make sure that the meat mixture is going to stay roughly within the middle. Stir. We want to try to keep it about the same height as well. Okay. There we go with that. Now, same thing as before. Just a little bit. Same thing as before. We're going to cut it into the 1-inch strips. And do the same braiding as we did before. So you're going to cut almost right up to the meat. When you do that, let's cut a little more with the one where it starts. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Pretty simple that way. So then, same thing, we're going to do the braiding. Pull that over. Tuck this under that. The same thing here. So you want to make sure that like that little pocket gets sealed. And same thing on this side. So get it tucked under. And tucked under. And just grab your braids, stretch the meat towards the middle. That way. And there. Now it's all wrapped and sealed and ready to get in the oven when the oven's available. But before we do that, we're going to get the egg wash going on that. So we have our 1 chicken egg. And to the chicken egg, we're going to add a little bit of parsley and garlic to just give it some nice flavoring and some color to wow it. And then the same thing over here, we're going to egg wash it as well. So I need a little bit of parsley. Actually, we're not going to add that to the egg. What am I thinking? I was thinking of a different recipe. We're just going to sprinkle it all over the top. That's what we're going to do. Let's make a nice egg wash. And the nice thing with this egg wash, it'll turn around and make the bread this nice golden color. It won't, I'm not saying it won't burn, because if you overcook it, it'll burn. It'll just give it this nice, that golden, picturesque look. Now with the bread, we're going to wait about halfway through and then we will egg wash it. So right now we're just going to get and some garlic powder. And even if you wanted to do some onion powder with it, you could. So you got 14 minutes still on the apple cobbler. Throw my tray in here. Please sit. Oh, dude. I'm going to cut the excess off of this. I don't like always putting too much parchment paper into the oven because it just kind of gets toasted at some points. There we go. All nice and situated. So yeah, finish all that up. The weird part is they're going to go in for the oven for the same temperature, 350. This one's going to go in for about 20-ish minutes. For my oven, it tends to be 22. So we'll cook it, let's see. That would be about right, because then the bread is going to take roughly 35 minutes, so I'll cook it at 22, rotate it around a little bit, pull the bread out, get an egg wash on it, and go from there on the time with that. So we have like 10-ish minutes to just hang out. So yeah. So is there any like recipes you guys are interested in figuring out? Comment below. I think we've settled on the race and Elder Scrolls that we're looking on focusing on next month, and with Valentine's Day being next month in the States, we're gonna have a Valentine's Day special. So yeah, we're gonna do things that way. So looking forward to getting all those recipes ready for you guys. So yeah, just trying to figure out how to spend some time here with you guys on that. That worked out way faster than I thought. I don't have high expectations and hope for the bread, being honest, because it didn't fluke like I wanted it to. Like I said, I don't know. I don't have the touch with bread. We have a 50-50 shot on it actually working, so I know I've tried different methods like, oh, put it in your oven, or preheat it into something, or do this, or this, or this, or So many things. Put it in your fridge, put it in your oven, put it a little bit of everywhere. So I don't know. It's a 50-50 shot that I will actually get it to work. So yeah, this is why we call it a cooking adventure based off of video games, because just like in video games, you don't always win. You fail, you learn, and you adapt, and you, I don't know, you get messed up recipes. So with that, got 9 minutes left on the apple cobbler. I know that'll turn out good. So yeah, we've only been cooking for like hour 12, so yeah. So get these things in the oven, and then we'll see what we've got going on from there. Tomorrow, what do we got going tomorrow? Tomorrow we're going to be focusing on a soup and a side. So that's going to be kind of fun. It's still probably snowed here in the snow stuck. There we go. We had snow right around Christmas, and then like it snowed for Christmas, and then it was like 50 degrees Fahrenheit like 2 days later or something like that. So snow's gone. So we finally got snow back. So it's still soup weather here. So yeah. Just trying to figure out, like, should I tell you guys next month? We're leaning towards, we're pretty set on the race that we're going to be looking at for cooking with would be the Bosmers, the Wood Elves. So figured out that would be a fun little challenge to cook along with. So with the Bosmers, they are in Valenwood, and one of their gods is Ifri, and they worship Ifri. They're part of the Green Pact, and they don't do anything to mess with plants. So from their diet is a completely carnivore diet, and even the way their housing works, it can be out of stone. The forest provides, so they get houses created for them, for lack of better words, if that's the easiest way to say it, to like the moving city of Balinestri. So that's kind of, it uproots itself and moves. So something fun there. So it's trying to figure out like how excited we are about a carnivore diet. But not really, because there's some interesting recipes that are in the universe. So, and then basically what it's also kind of said is you can take the Green Pact anywhere with you, but basically it's enforced in Valenwood. But if you like are a Bosmer that lives in Skyrim, there's nothing saying that you have to do the Green Pact. So it's kind of fun that way. So we'll see how things are going to turn out that way. Yeah. So we're going to, for the month of February, we're going to be focusing on cooking with a Bosmeri flair. So, yeah. And then we will be focusing on Valentine's Day and Valentine's Day. So hopefully we can get, I don't know, excited or just interested about just a holiday. So, got 5 more minutes on the apple cobbler. It's like, where were we at on what we're cooking? So yeah. At least want to get that out of the oven, you know. And then I guess I could just throw these in the oven and maybe put things on a pause for a little bit, and then we all can come back about a half hour later and see what we've got going there. That might be an idea, just leave you guys for a little bit, and so I don't have to figure out something to talk to for literally for a half hour. Yeah, go from there on that. So we'll get the apple cobbler out, get these in the oven, and then check back within you about actually more like 20 minutes. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. We'll just chill with you guys, you know, go take a 20-minute break, get hydrated, you know, all that stuff. So we'll get the apple cobbler out, and then I like that idea. We'll get the apple cobbler out, and then we will take that 20-minute break. I can't think of anything to talk about, or we'll figure that out. Three more minutes. So yeah. We will go from there on some things, and then see how it all works out, you know. Two more minutes. So then we also looked at the calendar for the rest of the year, so we're trying to plot things out as we're going. So I may have a good idea of where we want to go and where we're heading. So yeah, the decision was made. We're just gonna do the month of February with Bosmers. 1 minute. I'm excited to see all the apples. Oh, this looks so good. Look at that. So I'm gonna switch over my oven to 350. Oh my gosh, you can smell the cinnamon and cloves. So that's what that looks like. And I guess in 20 minutes or so we can come back. some apples out on a plate, and then we will see how the bread turned out and the meat mixture turned out. So I think that'll be a good idea. That we'll kind of just chill for 20 minutes and check back in 20 minutes. So I will move some screens over, and we will see you guys shortly. Hey friends, welcome back. Just got done putting the egg wash on the bread and getting ready to get the braided bread with the meat filling in it. If you're just stopping in right now, we were cooking supposed to be 2 things, ended up being 3. Trying to watch time to get the last thing out of the oven. I have to also make sure it's done before I get all excited that it's done that way. Let's see. Is it nice and it is perfectly crispy. So I'm gonna get this out of the oven. Switch the bread back in. And continue to cook that for another 15. That should be good, one would hope. So, quick recap of our quest today. We were supposed to cook braided bread with a meat filling in it. The dough didn't turn out the way I wanted it to, so we just turned and made that hopefully a loaf of bread, because that's what went back in the oven. Here was our cheat version of the braided bread with a meat filling in it. And we also made an apple cobbler, which I've actually just plated. It smells massively of cinnamon and clove. So we can taste test that now and see what the cobbler is like, perfectly flaky and the way it's supposed to be. Apple with it. And the cobbler is super soft. I actually just don't mind eating the cobbler by itself. It has plenty of flavor. It has a really light sweetness to it. And then the apple by itself. It has like a honey sweetness to it. You know it's sweet, but it's not overly sweet, and it has plenty of flavor from all those spices that we put in with it. Let's put that to the side. So now we've got our braided bread with meat in it. So I'm going to cut up a portion of it and see what we've got. Going for us. So I did check by just making sure that all the bread that we see has that nice crust sound to it. And it's nice, and I'm gonna put that on the plate because it's hot. But as you guys can see, it's got that nice crust to it. And on the inside, it's got all of that meaty goodness coming out of it. So, let's taste it. So the crescent dough came out just like you expect a crescent roll. Crispy on the outside, flaky all the way through. And the meat mixture has this savory, creamy taste to it. It's not spicy, it's perfectly savory. So I love it. It's really, really good. So we've got about 12 more minutes to see if the bread failed or it ended up being a success. So I'm just gonna eat that whole thing here in a minute. So it ended up being really, really good. Nice and creamy the way that needs to be. So, about 10 more minutes on the bread. And then we can see whether that journey won or lost. Like I keep saying, the nice part about cooking it's kind of like a video game. You can pick your difficulty level. You know, you can start off something really simple and build up experience points for that, or then you can turn around and go on advanced cooking levels. And if you don't have the right skill set or you know enough experience, you could totally fail at a expert level cooking project, or you might just luck out and roll a natural 20 and luck out and make a very good recipe. And sometimes even if you have skills and expertise, you can fail a dish, and then the nice part is you can reset and try it later. How to get rid of that. So give me 1 second. Let my moderator knows something. Okay. Just had to get something situated on that end. So we got roughly 9 more minutes. So yeah, getting nervous and excited to see about what happened to that bread. It looked promising when I had to put the egg wash on it and get it back in the oven, but looks can be deceiving. So yeah, so we can see if we failed the quest today or succeeded in our quest. So yeah, I don't know what's going on with my sound today, to be honest with you guys. I don't know. It's been working for months, and today decided to be weird. So just a couple more minutes and we'll see where we're at on that. I really don't want to fail this recipe. Stop watching the clock, Nicole. It won't go any faster. Oh, why do I think I failed the bread? The bread that's in the oven, it didn't fluff up right when I made the bread. So, it's supposed to proof, and so like you'll have your dough, and then it's supposed to be like this, and then it's supposed to go like this. It didn't quite go that way, so I might be breaking baking a brick in the oven. So we'll see if it turns out to be bread or a solid mass of flour. So got just a couple quick minutes on that. Everything else, though, it was a total win today. So the apple cobbler turned out right, and the cheat version of the braided bread with the meat filling in it worked out really well. So we'll just see if the bread turned out okay in about 5 minutes. So hopefully that works out really good. So hopefully the music's playing right, and just the sound's been weird today, and I am so sorry about that, guys. So tomorrow, at 2 o'clock Central Time, we're going to be making 2 more recipes inspired by the Elder Scrolls universe. We'll be making a soup and a side to go with it. So hopefully you guys can come back and keep joining us on our adventure and to make all these quests of recipes. Just a few more minutes. Hopefully it works. So let's see. Yep. I need a knife for my bread. Hold on a minute. So I'm always forgetting something. So if we want to see if that works, we need to have the appropriate tools. So get this all cleared off. Kind of. Things around, so see all this stuff. Hydrated. Time goes by so slow when you're waiting for something. Like the other night, I sat there and played like 3 hours of a video game and didn't even realize I was on that long. Here, 2 more minutes is taking forever. Burn myself, because that would be fun. Finally, maybe we can see if it's done. Well, it looks like bread. Don't know how to feel about it. Okay, moment of truth. So we will show it off and see if it passed or failed or became a solid brick. It might not even be done. Well, it's not crispy. Oh, it's still a solid mess of dough. So it didn't fluff. It like failed because it didn't get enough air in it, and it didn't proof and fluff all the way. I may try throwing it back in the oven for a couple minutes, but I don't know. I really don't see it being a successful journey on this case. So yeah. Let's back in the oven now. Oops. It might make it still. I don't know. Tastes delicious, but it's just this. It didn't fluff. So let's do this. Here's a little plate. So if you can see it, just kind of, it's not flaky. It might just need just a couple more minutes, but it didn't. I don't know. It's just a solid brick at the moment, but it tastes really, really good. Like I said, I usually only have a 50-50 shot of actually making bread between it proofing correctly and, I don't know, tried making bread for years and only works out about 50% of the time, and this time didn't look like it happened. So I don't know, it's just that make a ball of dough out of it still, so but that's okay. We can win and fail all the quests, so that's where we're at today. So I hope you guys enjoyed hanging out today and going on this adventure of passing and failing of making braided bread with meat in it. and an apple cobbler. So I hope you guys had fun today on this journey through some of the Elder Scrolls recipes, and I'll probably post pictures later if this bread actually works. We'll see what happens with that, and yeah, guys, don't forget to stay legendary. Bye!